record to this. Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Hi, Myrna. Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Oh, good. I've been waiting for the chance to talk to you about Mojo Tracks. I know it's so exciting. And a first person in our Alive Design community is going to do this with you in October. And so, but I'm really excited to hear about this process. I know you're rocking people's world with it. So first, tell us a little bit about you and how Mojo Tracks came to be. And then I have questions about frequency and affirmations and group retreats. So please get us started.
Well, okay. So I have been a musician for 25 plus years. Professional musician, toured all over the world. I have had the firsthand, the honor of having the firsthand experience of watching the way music can be just the experience of music can be a
It
transformative experience.
transforms, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people come in feeling crunchy and grouchy, and they leave feeling more themselves, more connected to their hearts and souls, more connected to their community. And the beautiful thing about music in general, um, just from a musician's standpoint, is really just like holding that container for people to have a personal transformation in a short amount of time that feels like it fills them up. And it's passive, but it's engaged.
Mhm.
So it's a beautiful experience. And I so my the way that I came to Mojo Tracks is that yes, 25 years of being a part of this transformative musical experience, has me sold on the value of music as a
Mhm.
tool of transformation. Not only that, but there's so much science behind it. I mean, if you want to unlock the pharmacy of good chemistry in your body, you can turn to music. I mean, there's serotonin, there's dopamine, there's even oxytocin that can be released in the body from a musical experience. So not only does it just make you feel good and feel seen and feel like you belong in an experience and feel like you're vibing with something, but it literally creates the chemistry in your body that's really healthy for you. That's also an antidote to the sort of scrolling dope hits that we get from other stimulus.
Yeah.
So music is proven to be a magical thing
Mhm.
that really helps with physical health, emotional health, and everything else.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I knew that already. And when my son was born, I stopped touring.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, I had to take a break from the road to
Yeah.
to just settle into motherhood. And my father passed away shortly after. And
Mhm.
I listened into my heart and realized that I had been called to coaching for a long time, that I
Mhm.
wanted to help other people to really, especially creatives and people in challenging industries, to really come into their own. And so I started coaching. And that was like business coaching and life coaching. And I have a background in yoga and mantra and all these other things. And I realized that there was a thing that happened in between sessions a couple years into it where people would sort of fall off in their process. I mean, which is normal for all of us, right? We have thoughts and ideas and beliefs that hijack our progress. We start to go, I'm not worth this. What
Mhm.
am I thinking? I'm
Mhm.
an imposter. What am I doing trying to grow into this
Mhm.
blank?
Mhm.
And I was like, what if there was a way to keep them organically and just, sort of like on a very real level and not toxic positivity level on track with the progress and the person they're becoming and the way that they're becoming that person in between our sessions. And
Yeah.
I started to play with the science of the neuroscience behind affirmations and mantra, and sort of the way that mantra lands in the body. It's an ancient yogic
Mhm.
practice of sound and voice and beliefs. And then the idea of the modern version of it, which is the affirmation practice.
Mhm.
And I deep dived into all the neurological ways that that was beneficial and the ways to get the best out of an affirmation practice.
Mhm.
And then I started to dive into, well, I know music is healing.
Mhm.
So I started to figure out how to work with my clients to create a unique to them track
Mhm.
that is their own voice most of the time,
Mhm.
crafted affirmations in our session together
Mhm.
that really fortify the beliefs and the stories and the narratives they're shifting and they're moving toward in a way that feels authentic and not toxic positivity and not creepy and not
Mhm.
fake and not generic. So this is their growth gap where they are and where they're going, whether they're an athlete or an
Mhm.
artist or someone launching a business, it's going to be a different set of beliefs that they're going to be trying and working to integrate into their actual consciousness and their subconsciousness. So combining the work that we do together with their recording of their own resonant voice, which I think is important in a lot of ways because the bad voices and negative voices in your head are your voice.
Right.
Often
You need to
you're the
fight
one.
fire with fire.
Yeah. So when you hear yourself saying that you are worthy of and that you are, embodying and that you're stepping into this person that is just a dream in your heart, there's something so powerful about the resonant frequency of your own voice. And some people are uncomfortable, and I understand. And we have workarounds.
Mhm.
But I combine that with I have a library of music I've been collecting from some of my artist friends, some original compositions, and some that I've licensed.
Oh, good.
And I let my clients go shop for their musical
What's your
track. I mean,
jam? Yeah, for the
everybody's
music they
different.
listen to that moves them, that makes them feel warm and at home and inspired. Well, one of the challenges about coaching just in general is sustaining the gains. And so somebody has a breakthrough and now they're able to do the thing. And then just like going to the gym and you lose your weight and you get fit and you stop going to the gym. You get on a eating regimen and you achieve your goals and then one cheat day becomes five cheat days and suddenly you're losing your gains.
And
So it
suddenly the
sounds like
holidays are
this,
over.
yeah, this idea of something you could turn to as needed as an antidote to maintain your gains, to remind you, oh, wait, this is who I am. Oh, wait, when I do this, I feel better and I know what's possible for me. This is just kind of a magic formula to help people sustain the gains of whatever they're working on in their coaching.
That's my hope. I've seen it in real life with my clients. They're able to stay on track. I mean, I developed it first for me, then for my clients, and now I'm working with other coaches and we're working with other people. The beautiful, fun thing about it for me is I get to just have this tool that I can
Mhm.
help other coaches help their clients. It's not,
Mhm.
it's for me collaboration. It's so fun. So it's like beautiful, but it's great because like a lot of people can't sit down with a meditation practice,
Mhm.
but they might be able to get really quiet and breathe and really hear this for the 4 to 5 minutes or put it right after their meditation practice or right when they wake up in the morning when their brain is in the theta state, which is
Mhm.
a really powerful time to.
Receptive state.
Mhm. And or right before bed where it starts to move into your subconscious that doesn't understand time
Right.
or um that it's and it becomes more of a fact. And the other beautiful part is that you know I used it a lot, used mine a lot when I was driving to meetings and performances that made me uncomfortable. I was nervous, and it would just calm my entire nervous system and help me remember that I've got this. I've done harder things. I am born for this. This is what I was made to do. There's no time like today to do it. Like it helped me just get out of my head and in the zone for every kind of scary thing. And my clients are experiencing that too. And there's just nothing that, I mean, they're just experiencing these transformations because they're able to sustain, like you were saying. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
I know you and I had met at a church years ago before we did any work together. And sometimes people would sing in the hymns for the church, and they would feel like they were prayed up twice. They did the prayers, but then they also did the singing, which sort of was like doubling down on the prayers in terms of how they felt connected to God, connected to the community around them, their hearts open with the love. And it was often the music that unlocked that. And
It really
so
is
to
powerful.
to really be able to open somebody's heart deliberately at the time of their choosing on a regular basis, and then shift the energy inside of them. So I noticed a few years ago when I was driving, I would put on Christian songs rather than just randomly let the radio program my mood. I program my mood myself.
Yeah.
And I found that when I was thinking positive things, my heart did open, and I was always in a good mood when I arrived where I was going. And we have a little traffic here in Austin sometimes. So, I felt like I was just okay. Like, oh no, go ahead of me. Oh yeah, you apparently don't know you have a blinker for a lane change. That's okay. So, but it would manage my mood. And then working with clients, I've invited some of them to find a theme song, particularly at the beginning of a tough journey. One refused for like 3 weeks to pick a theme song. And finally, like on a Saturday, he sent me the instrumental of the Rocky theme song. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Our
Yeah.
first breakthrough, he's going to do dun, 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 before he goes out the door to this new hard job. And he was ready. But the resistance of, and I'm like, it's fine if it doesn't have words. It just needs to pump you up if that's what you have to do to go get him. And
That's right.
so I think I've used music in a much lesser way to give someone a theme song to say, let's just address this challenge, see if we can, get you pumped up. You think when you watch movies, the music is the somber music when it's a sad thing, and it's the excited music when it's a happy thing. It carries your emotions right along. I mean, the people in Hollywood know this. So we could do it, be directors of our own movie and add
Yeah.
a soundtrack that's going to serve us.
That's yeah, I mean I developed an entire team building tool based on collaboratively writing a song together that reflects the values and vision of your company.
Hmm.
And I just finished one for this amazing female comic who has this incredible message. She's like, I need a walk-on song that is the thing. And I'm writing another for a book. There's so much magic in like having a theme song
Hmm.
and having your own curated musical experience. It really just, I mean, it can be as simple as a Mojo track, which is your,
Hmm.
the messaging that you need to get you into the zone with, where you can just really be your full self and get out of your own way. Because,
Yeah.
let's face it, we're mostly the thing that's in our own way
Oh, no,
95% of
yes.
the time.
When you're wondering where the problem is, you start here. But I know the concert experience, and I've seen you perform live, so I know you're amazing in that way too. But you do tend to put the audience in the palm of your hand. So when you are in a live music experience and people know the songs, there's this community feel. Like, our hearts rise in the certain parts of the thing, or um, you know, to be part of a workshop that's a retreat for a company, and to have that team building joint experience seems amazing, and they could take that away from them. Everyone is feeling better about everybody else because all their hearts open together, even though they probably didn't know that's what was happening. But then also you mentioned that for some like family celebrations, like maybe the matriarch's 75th birthday or the 100th family reunion or something, that sort of family stories can be written into, the most positive, joyful memories honoring the people in the family. And then everybody has that takeaway as that song.
Yeah, those have been really, really, really beautiful projects too. And so that's like a Mojo track with a melody. That's like that
It's more
and
involved.
it's a little more involved and it's but that those experiences like wedding anniversaries that are milestones and birthdays that are milestones and when the family tells all the stories and then I get to help them to synthesize it into a song that is in
Mhm,
their parents' musical wheelhouse of joy.
mhm,
Like, oh, it is a divine experience. Like if you want to talk about like a gift that brings you together, like
yes.
there's just so much magic in creating a musical experience for people. And yeah, I've done it, that business is like that sort of packages for corporate or for families and we do a team build and a song build together or for individuals like the comic I was talking about.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
then the Mojo tracks can also be done in a group setting, which is also pretty pretty remarkable too. I've been invited recently to do a handful of retreats with Mojo Tracks. So coming in and workshopping the crafting part of the affirmation part, and then retreats are places where we go and we get opened up and we get to release the baggage that's holding us down, embrace the things we're looking for and deeply yearning for, and then we go into the world and it's a cold hard, it's like a cold shower
You get
coming
off the
sometimes.
plane and it's like, was I on a retreat? Because the stress is back. I'm driving home from the airport and I'm like, my
Yeah.
stress is back.
And so, yeah, exactly. So one of the things that we're doing that I'm doing with some of these other coaches and people who are facilitators of these sacred experiences is doing a workshop inside that safe cocoon of vulnerability and just birthing, and then creating these, with the people. So it's a reflective, joyful exercise together, and
Yeah.
then they get to then we let them shop for their music,
Mhm.
or I maybe make one that is just the collective group of affirmations from each participant so that they carry each other with them into the next place. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of ways to use this tool, and then we craft it, we put it to the music that we feel,
Mhm.
and then they get to go home and have an integrative experience that lasts
There's some
and brings
continuity
yeah, and brings
that
them
was done
back
in the
into
workshop.
the frequency, yeah, the physical sensation of that opening and that beautiful birthing of, our heart's desires. It's, you
I
know,
have a question about frequencies.
okay.
I was once happily roped into being on stage during an opera. I was an extra. And my friend who did this said she was an extra in the opera in a singing role. She said, you don't know opera until you've stood within 3 feet of a soprano. Because when you do, your body becomes a tuning fork. I literally felt her in my teeth, in my bones when she hit the notes. I'm like, this is like the Memorex commercial. Like, am I going to fracture like that wine glass? But you could tell the vibration of what was coming out of her. And so there is a frequency that's a component of this, and your body can be like a tuning fork. So I know you've played with the frequencies at which your recordings are done. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Or so it's there's a whole world. I mean, there's a wonderful neurologist and Ayurvedic practitioner who wrote a book called Sound Medicine. Her name is Dr. Kurlit Chaudhry.
Hmm.
And she taps into in the book the fact that we're on the brink uh, of this almost this sonic revolution when it comes to healing and sound frequencies. Is drawing from this ancient tradition of mantra
Hmm.
and how mantras can unlock the chakras, literally. And she works with a few, she did TM, and in TM they give you your own seed mantra to practice, which is your vibrational frequency, your attuning.
Hmm.
And then, she also offers a mantra practice that is set to balance the chakras and heal the body.
Hmm.
So we know this is an ancient thing that is now being proven by science, and it goes all the way to the fact that there are now surgical techniques that are using sound frequencies similar to like laparoscopic surgery. Like it is
They
sound.
break up kidney stones with sound.
Yes, with sound. We have the sonogram, we have
Hmm.
sound technologies, and she seems to believe, and I'm with her on this, that we are on the precipice of learning about the vastly useful ways that sound can heal us.
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of research that's gone into like the different hertz that
Hmm.
open up the different centers of the body.
Hmm.
And there's, you can really nerd out on the gong and the singing bowls and these sound baths. I mean, there's a reason why they are so sought after,
Hmm.
because people feel literally like they've had this
Mhm.
complete nervous system reset because of the deliberate way that these frequencies are, working with their body to create harmony. And
Mhm.
so there's that aspect of it. And we have a lot of tracks in our library that correspond with the 528 and the, and we have a little data in there if you're interested about like what each frequency, but I won't go into that right now,
Mhm.
but I will say that there's also something about just paying attention to your body when you're in a musical experience and feeling the endorphins and feeling the
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be a sonic binaural beat thing to make you go, yeah. I mean, Michael Jackson does the same thing to most of us. It can also just be like the song that I made for that comic. I mean, she had this playlist of these songs that just make her feel like I'm ready to rock. And
Mhm.
I drew from those sonic frequencies and rhythms. And if you
Mhm.
think about African drumming and the shamanic drumming traditions and how the drum brings us into a state of transcendental, sort of we're in a liminal space in our bodies and brains, and the theta state is activated through this drumming. And it's all very ancient traditions, but using, sound. I feel like Dr. Chaudhry is saying, like we are on the verge of the medicine of sound really taking over a lot of our world. And this is my work is just one facet of that
Mhm.
magic. And it's just combining some of these ancient practices of mantra and with, the backed up neuroscience and the backed up physical wellness science that says we're doing this, and we're going to
This
do
is
it
so
correctly.
fantastic. I'm sure in your music career, you never thought, one day I'll use sound for healing in a coaching practice. You know.
Nope. But I did start out as a yogi pretty young, and I did really. I made a yoga DVD, and I helped to make the soundtrack with some amazing musicians. It was a yoga DVD for musicians, and this is in my 20s. And
Okay.
I helped to design the sonic landscape of that, and
Hmm.
we produced it together.
Hmm.
And I used traditional mantra in
Hmm.
that. So, I mean, I think there's a seed. You just never know when the seeds are
Hmm.
planted in your life that bloom,
Hmm.
so
Well,
much later.
I have a feeling that curated affirmations in the music that speaks to you will help people have a lot of seeds that blossom inside them. And it's so true with affirmations in coaching, in manifestation. You give yourself permission to try, you give yourself permission to believe that this is possible for me. I'm going to
Yeah.
go for it. I'm going to try. Let's see what happens. And that's a shift from the voice that says, who do you think you are? And no, you can't. And, so the kind of negative self talk that we do unconsciously. And
We
so,
all do it.
yeah, so this helps change the channel very deliberately. Oh, I'm going to put on my Mojo track. Here we go. So,
Oh
well,
yeah,
it's an
and your
amazing
nervous
thing.
system, it goes straight into your body. It's a somatic experience. It's not just reading it on a page. I didn't find that was working for anybody, including myself,
Mhm.
but feeling it in your body,
Mhm.
hearing the pauses between the statements to feel that breathing into that new life,
So all
it's
kinds of music, metal, hip hop, symphony. I mean, is it all folk music? Is it all kinds?
I'm building the library,
Mhm.
and I'm licensing from artists that I love and know different instrumental tracks,
Mhm.
and some that I have also created, and then I'm also using some music libraries that I have, licensed
Mhm.
clearance for. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just trying to build it. Like if you're an athlete, you might want to just be like in the
Like a
zone, and it may
college
need to be.
type song or a marching song, like,
Yeah, your running
team.
pace. Yeah, your Rocky song, like you were talking about. You may need it to kind of like,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'm building the library, and it's all growing, and it's like it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm excited to share it with, more than just my own clients. It's a beautiful blossoming for other people's clients, and for, I think also when you're going through a tough life transition, It's a tool to remind you of,
Well,
who you are.
when you think about the things we do sometimes to make ourselves feel better, that could be, it might be a hit, or it might be a drink, or it might be binging out on TV, or it might be, chips or chocolate or something. Yeah, scrolling. And so here's a wonderful alternative with no calories that you can do to make yourself feel better on demand. On demand.
Yeah, and it really, I mean, that, like I was saying earlier, like the pharmacy that is available to our body whenever we hear something and really have an immersive musical experience. I mean, it's like it's free dope hits, it's free serotonin, it's the stuff we get prescriptions for when
Yeah.
we can put ourselves in it, and it's beautiful because you're right, there's no hangover, there's no calories, and you actually move closer to
Yeah.
what you want instead of numbing out. I mean, we want to numb out. We feel like those negative voices can really drown us
Yeah.
sometimes, and I see why we want to numb out.
Well, this is a great alternative, and I appreciate that this offering is now part of a life design community, and I'm inspired about what you're doing. The trajectory of your life is just amazing. So, yeah, no, really, I can't wait to share this with all the life design folks and to be referring to you. So, yes, please think of Wendy. If you want an individual Mojo track, if you have a family celebration that needs a soundtrack, if you are, creating a brand or doing a workshop retreat for employees and they need a shot in the arm, there's a lot of ways to use this. So they can find you where? At wendycolonna.com?
That's right. Everything is now there.
Good. Well,
Everything
I'll put
is
that in our
under that.
description here. They can also find you on alifedesign.org. Thank
That's
goodness.
right.
So,
Yay.
woo, well, welcome again. I'm so excited. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you for having me in the work you're doing. I love the community that you're creating, and I am thrilled to see the stories unfold of, the beautiful wins of the people who get to, the joy and privilege of working with everybody on
Our
the team.
collaborations. Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, until next time, thanks, Wendy.